You have a little one here.
Yeah, that was my, is that Jack's group? Oh, that was one of the, Joey's good friend, Brian's daughter, right? Was Paisley.
She's wearing pink, but that's not necessarily. And you see, she's also got Joey's memorial T-shirt on. And Art, I'm going to have you read this. We believe your daughter wrote this. And so I'm going to have you come on up here, hon.
Wait a minute, you've got to do the mic switch.
I gotta do the mic switch.
Okay, or can you pick it up off this?
No.
Or can I just hook him up?
Yeah.
Come on up,
Just
Art.
hold it.
I swear.
Okay.
Okay, this is probably sometime.
Whoops, can you hear both?
You give a vote?
You got it right here.
Yeah, I just folded up there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, double fisted.
Okay, this is probably sometime closer to when Joey passed. Like my dad was saying, my daughter was really, really close to her Uncle Joey. He would take her for the weekend or whatever. But this says, somebody that loves me is my Uncle Joey. He shows love by giving hugs and kisses, and we also like to go for a walk together, and I miss him with all my heart. Even I don't see him that much, I still love him very much, and he is the best uncle. If she was here, she'd be crying. She loved him a lot, and she does miss her Uncle Joey.
Thank you.
She's 22 now.
Oh, 22, my goodness.
And so out of all of this, you kind of wonder, how does a family survive? And what does a family do? And like you said, Captain Wallace came to you, and you guys started what?
We started a 5K run. We started off donating the money to wounded warriors and Youth for Christ. As time went on, Gretchen Catherwood, her son died the same day Joey's. He got killed in action the same day Joey did. She started the Dark Horse Lodge. So once she started
And you
that,
see that right there, it
Yeah.
says Dark
Yeah.
Horse Lodge.
yeah. So once she started that, my wife and her are very close. They're always talking and texting. So we started moving the money down there from the 5K run, and it's almost completed. But it's going to still take a lot to keep it going. So we're going to continue to do the run every year.
And they chose that because it gives 100% back to the military, to these veterans. It is not being funneled into administrative costs and all of those things. And with all things, you have to have a starting point, and so this became, I think, your guys' starting point.
Yeah, that's the start for the 5K run. We have it at the high school every year, the week after Memorial Day.
So it's the Saturday after Memorial Day. And it's pretty well attended. And once again, you
Yes,
have,
we are blessed to have them here in Rosemont. They always honor Joey at the run.
that's incredible to see
Yeah.
the level of honor and respect out of young people.
The tall cadet is at the Marine Corps weekend right
Oh, this whole cadet, this whole group.
The
Tall
tall.
one.
Oh,
He
whoops,
gra-
okay, tell me
He
again.
graduated, no?
No, he's at cadet corps, I'm sorry, he camp right now.
Wow, awesome.
Graduated today.
And I was just so impressed by this picture. The attention out of the whole group that has stopped to pledge. And Art, on the back of every shirt, you have,
We change them up every year. That one has a text. We make some little text on the back.
okay. And there's you and Tracy.
Yeah. See the joy it brings to my wife to see that we're able to raise money for under Joey's name to to help others. It's a blessing. My grandson Jackson Jr.
And so even all the little folks participate in
involved in
this.
passing out medals. There's Arthur and Alessandra.
Okay.
That's my other granddaughter.
And this is a family that sees things through to the finish. They don't quit. And they continue to honor Joey with,
Yeah, I don't know if you know Jin Hurd. He's the owner of Crazy Autos. He ran a marathon to raise the money to put that sign up. We never forget that. I forgot how much was it.
3,500 or something, and Jay's Hideaway, and the owners did that.
No, Crazy Autos.
Crazy Autos in
Jin-
Lancaster?
Lancaster. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
whoops, I'm sorry.
So he ran a marathon and he raised all the money for us to get the sign. 2 signs, one in the north side, one in the south side.
And he is honored in art,
Yeah,
in
Bakersfield.
lowercase art, in Bakersfield.
Bakersfield, there's a veterans thing that they got. I think that one was a big one.
And one of the things that comes back to me time and time and time again is the family is still part of this. You just kind of see Joey hanging out with everybody. And then there is an actual, how we have a Vietnam wall, for those of you that may go tomorrow down to Palmdale, there is,
I didn't know they had that in Palm. That doesn't
No,
go
that's
in
not in
Camp-
Palmdale.
That's in Camp Pendleton. Yeah.
Camp Pendleton.
Yeah, I seen that in Camp Pendleton, but I never seen
no, Palmdale has the Vietnam.
it. Yeah, Vietnam.
And then you said the city of Laguna has taken in these 25 Marines, and they honor
Yeah,
them.
basically they kind of like adopted the 25 for and they run a 5K, a half marathon, and a 10K, and they honored the 3-5 there on Memorial Day. That's what our family, we always go there. We meet some of the Coast Guard families there.
And they have all 25 of those flags up throughout the run. And once again, you just see Joey hanging out with the family. And I love this one. Doesn't it just seem like he's just sitting there talking with Tracy, saying, hey, Mom. And I put this one in here because Alec Catherwood's mother and father
Yeah.
are the ones who have
The Dark Horse Lodge, they're the ones who started.
the Dark Horse Lodge. And so if you get a chance, they're the darkhorselodge.org. And once again, and then Joey's last text, Art, said what?
I'm gonna let Pastor Charlie read it.
Okay, Charlie.
Charlie, yeah, he'll read it, but Joey sent me the text. It's because I couldn't read it, but I'll probably be hard. He sent me that at actually it was about 1:15 in the morning when I got the text. And I heard my phone going off, so I went and got the text, and I remember texting back. So I immediately texted back. But I didn't know if he got the text because he left. But a few years later, I met one of the Marines and said, he read your text. So that was good to know.
So, Charlie?
Hey, Dad, I'm flying out of Leatherneck tonight to my area of operations, so this is the last time I'll be texting you. I've been reading the Bible every day and talking to God every day, and it's been helping me a lot so far. If for some reason something happens to me and I don't come home, make sure Mom understands I have a relationship with God now, and I'm okay. I love you, Dad.
And as we end today, like we began, I'm going to have you stand up, Charlie, and I'm going to have you do what we're supposed to do here. So, Charlie,
We are going to say his name, but we're also going to say the 3-5 motto, which we do all the time at Cadet Quarter. So would you just stand, and we're going to say, repeat his name with me. Lance Corporal Joseph Lopez Pratti. Ready? Lance Corporal Joseph Lopez Pratti. And then I think I'll have Captain Shody. He will say the 3-5, and we'll say get some. They want to carry out
the motto is 3-5, and then you repeat, get some. 3-5,
Get some!
3-5,
Get some!
3-5,
Get some!
Hula.
Ooh.
That's actually
thank you so much. And may tomorrow be blessed.
Yes.
And Cadet Course, you have a job. Pass out a cupcake and give a love.
Yeah, we do have cupcakes. And the one person who didn't get introduced as a veteran was our videographer who became a Marine when he was 14, and they didn't find out he was 14 until he was 18, fortunately. But he's also a veteran. Thank you all for coming. I think this was very, very inspiring. Started, so hang on just a minute.
Breeze, eh? Colors?
Anybody else have time? Okay, all right, so. Want to go ahead and.
Reverse. Coast.
They're practicing.
Left. Face. Work.
Does that work?
Coast.
Is this gonna work? Okay. Okay, so shall I go ahead and start the meeting officially, and then we'll do the teleprompter? We are still trying to figure out exactly the best arrangement in here, but we're going to try it this time. So thank you for being patient with us, and welcome. We're so delighted that you came tonight. Just a quick little word. Last month, because we didn't have a clue about the color guard and all that, not everything was on the video, but Mac with his talent, was able to incorporate not only what the kids did into the recording, but we had talked about the fact that we finally got the plaque put up on the Tropico Time Tunnel, and Matt was also able to incorporate some of that. So if you get on our YouTube site, and I have the URL on a piece of paper in my pocket, I will hand them out before you leave. You can see the time tunnel, you can see the kids do some of their things, and it's all part of our October 13th meeting video. So thank you, Mac, for a lot of hours that you put together to get it together.
My pleasure.
And with no further ado, I will call this meeting to order, and I think our first order of business is our flag salute.
Oh. Face. Breathe that. On.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleam, whose frost stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the rebels we watched were so gallantly streaked, and the rockets red glare, the boom bursting air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors, that star-spangled banner yet wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order. Colors. Reverse. Colors. Left. Face. Over. Mark.
Siobhan? Right behind you.
You want the kids to go?
Yeah, well, we'll give the cadets a chance to have a seat. Oh, okay. While they're doing that, I'll take care of a little bit of housekeeping. We are the Kern Historical Society. We are a cheap date. We meet 10 times a year. And so for a couple, that's $20. You will not get a better deal for a full 10 dates for $20. We take cash, we take check, and you can also Zelle us. So if you're interested in that, for anybody that is looking, we are doing our Christmas party at Guido's the second Thursday of December, and that's $23, and that also can go to that Zelle address. Tonight, we are here to honor Joey Pratti. And before we start, I want to tell you a little bit about, while these youngsters are settling in, how we got to here. I'd like to think I'm a relatively patriotic person and that I have a lot of respect, but I learned something with these cadet corps students that I didn't know, and I learned it through my granddaughter's eyes and through Captain Wallace's eyes. And last year, they were doing the Wreaths Across America. And I watched Captain Wallace tell all of these young cadets that they were to go and stand before every veteran and salute and to say their name. And it was in the power of saying their name that the memory lives on. And it was extremely powerful to me. And I think sometimes I'll speak for me, tap dance around, we don't know what to say, we don't know what to do, so we do nothing. I watched these young kids, and they all knew Pilar Salazar. She works out at Tropico Middle School, and her son was a Marine who was killed in a car accident off the base. And he is buried in Arvin. And every last one of those cadets took the time to come and salute him. And I was awestruck. I was awestruck by their respect. I was awestruck by the honor and by the process. And Pilar was not there. She'd already come and gone. So that was something I learned, those cadets learned, and the other family members that were around. And so our intention with telling Joey's story is that this will be a story and a legacy that will continue way beyond tonight and will be something that everybody can tap into. So that's our goal. So Art, without further ado, I'll have you come up. This is Joey Pratti's father, Art Pratti. And Art, you and I are going to sit down. And
Good evening.
as important as Art is, before Art, there was Tracy and there was Joey. And there is no more special bond than a mother has with her child, and maybe with her firstborn child. Not that the rest aren't precious, but with her firstborn child. And the specialness that you see right there with Tracy and with Joey, and the love that the two of them shared, and just such a unique and special relationship. And sometimes I worry Tracy gets a little bit lost in the shuffle. So I wanted to make sure we honored her tonight. And I found this that Joey had written for his mom. And part of the club you never want to have to be a part of is being a Gold Star mother. And to be a Gold Star mother means that you have lost your child in service. And so Caitlin, where are you, honey? So Caitlin, I'd like for you to give these to Tracy, to Mrs. Pratti. And we just want you to know that we love you. So as we begin this, Art, tell us about Joey here.
Well, Joey.
And I was told,
Joey-
you and I are gonna
yeah.
look right here, and we'll let them look right there.
Joey came into my life and he was 3 years old. His biological father died when he was a baby. So he
Art
never-
presented some
He
ice
never, he
cream.
never got to really know his biological father. So I raised Joey, and he came into. I had Arthur and Anthony, so they became like instant family. And Joey and Anthony were probably 6 months apart, and they became like twin brothers. I've never seen two brothers just bond so close that they wanted to do everything with each other. When one went to the bathroom, the other one went with them, and they sat there and they switched off. It was crazy.
And Tracy said there was something unique about trying to get Joey to sit still for a picture.
Yeah, she always had to give him some food or something because he was kind of like hyper.
So if you look here, here's a picture of him sitting still with a snack, and this will play out a little bit later, so I want to make sure you notice this. And, whoops, I don't know what I've done here. Okay. And here he is with a good school picture and everything. And then in this one,
That's with his grandpa in Arizona.
Whoops, you gotta
John.
go a little bit closer.
His grandpa John in Arizona, he used to go down there and visit him, and he really enjoyed visiting his grandpa. He'll go out there and Joey loved basketball, and they kind of like converted him to be a Phoenix Suns. So,
but right here,
yeah,
he was supposed to be a cowboy.
yeah.
But instead of being a
Cow
cowboy,
dog. Yeah.
a cow dog.
Yeah. That's what he used to say, he was a cow dog.
So long before he was a Marine, he was a cow dog. And this relationship with his grandpa, with Tracy's dad, they shared a love of what here?
Well, he used to want to dress up like his grandpa with a tie and everything. And if you met John was such a good example to Joey's life. He was an engineer like two of my sons, and he loved airplanes, and he had his own airplane, so he even put Joey flying and all that. So they had a good bond together.
Now you can see right here that Joey looks a little bit like a saint, right?
Yeah.
And then you can see right here that maybe the temptation of a swimming pool and a tie might not have been too good of a mix. And tell us about your family.
Well, my oldest, Arthur, he's
And
here.
Arthur,
He's
we'll
with
go
us,
ahead and have
Arthur.
you stand up and
Yeah.
wave.
He's also a veteran. He did 3 tours in Iraq.
Bravo.
He was a good example to Joey, and Joey really looked up to him. So, and Anthony, okay, you got Joey, and then you got Arthur, and then Anthony's down here. They were best buds, and then you got Christopher, the one with more teeth, and then Richard. He's no Arthur. Me and like Tristan. We had 5 boys, and it was, you know, I wouldn't trade it in for nothing. I thought we enjoyed
Put it up.
we enjoyed having the, you know, now that we have granddaughters, we were lucky to have 5 boys. Because they're so much different, you know, so, but it was good times.
Now, Tracy said there was something special here. We had,
Yeah, it was, I say double trouble back then, but it was our Joey and Anthony. They went wherever Anthony went, Joey went. Wherever Joey went, Anthony went. They were just like glue, you know. And they really, it was a pair meant to be, you know, that God brought them together. And it just it was a blessing to see how close it got.
and this would be a relationship that they would continue.
Yes. I think they were around 7 years old.
And then you said he had a love of,
Basketball. He loved basketball. He loved to play basketball. Well, the other day I was telling you that Joey didn't like to lose, and I used to he used to play against me, and he would keep on playing and playing until eventually he beat me, and then he was satisfied. But he didn't love with the basketball. We got older. We used to coach the younger kids, Christopher and Richard, and Joey used to stay up at night just drawing out plays, you know. And I remember telling him, Joey, these are 5 and 6 year olds. You got plays here for grown-ups. But he just wanted to win, you know, and he was a good coach.
and Joey, like all good sports fanatics, always has a team. So what was his team?
His team was like, we went and go visit Grandpa, and he brainwashed him to be the Phoenix Suns. But that was okay, because we used to watch the Lakers and the Suns play, and most of the time Joey would just shoot out after the game, because the Lakers always beat him. You know, that was a bond that we got. Every time the Lakers and the Suns played, we'll sit down and we'll watch it. And I really enjoyed that.
And here he is coaching.
Yeah, we were coaching Christopher, and that was Christopher's team. I don't know what year, I forgot what year.
And one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting with Art, we live in the age of what I call the soccer moms. Everybody gets a trophy, no matter what you've done, how well you've done it, or even if you've showed up. And Art didn't let Joey win. He had to earn it.
Yeah, until he beat me, yeah. And my wife used to say, just let him beat. Why don't you let him? I go, I can't. He got to beat. He got to earn it. Eventually he did, though.
You see by the muscles there, that probably wasn't too long
No,
after
it
that.
wasn't. It was pretty young
And
age. Joey loved his nieces. This was Haley when she was a baby, Arthur's oldest daughter, and he used to take his nieces everywhere. You know, he got a real close bond to them. They still talk about Uncle Joey. We got some of our granddaughters that never even seen Joey. They know all about Joey. We still celebrate his birthday. And we hang out and we talk about Uncle Joey. And so if you tell one of my granddaughters, 7 years old, never seen Joey. Joey's been gone a lot longer than that. She'll tell you all about Uncle Joey.
yeah. Come on in, sweetie.
Thank you.
And this was Haley, right?
That was it.
And Haley's story will come to play a little bit later here.
Well, that's all the brothers again. We got Richard and Joey and Arthur and Chris and Anthony.
Yeah.
And I think that was could have been at somebody's birthday party. I don't know.
All 5 together. And you said that Joey, from the time he was little, you would take him to work, And he had kind of an organized structure with keeping things together. Now, you were a it
I
did
was
seem
I was a plaster, and Joey worked with me for many years, and he was always very organized, and and every time I turned around, my tools were washed, and they were all lined up, I didn't want my tools washed, when I was still working, but Joey would wash the tools all the time. He just wanted to make sure they were clean. Even when you went into his room, and he had everything all organized. We used to play with little army mans, and he had them all organized, and that was Joey.
So he was a Marine, born a Marine, I guess.
Yeah.
And he became a Marine.
He had a lot of struggles, and it was hard for him to become a Marine because, he got a DUI, and he got in a few incidents where they didn't want him to, it was basically he almost didn't make it in, but he kept on training, and he goes, and he said, "Dad, man, this is what I want to do." And, if it was meant to be, it will happen, and it did. Eventually, they let him sign up.
And not only did he
Get in shape, or just even walk it.
I told Art, maybe the first Saturday of the month or something,
Yeah.
we can gather those of you that are a little more athletically inclined and run Joey's Hill. Now, Joey didn't just become a military person. He strove to become a Marine, and he became part of a specific group.
3-5. If you see the history of the 3-5, they have a long history back in the war. But he really wanted. He was excited to go. He was excited to go there, and he wanted to do infantry. He became a rifleman. But when he got deployed, machine gun. The guy that was carrying the machine gun, something happened to him. He couldn't go, but Joey right away said, "I'll be the machine gun." So they switched from being a rifleman to being a machine gun.
And part of their creed is that they say what?
Get film.
And tell us about this time here with him.
Oh, that was the day he was gonna leave. We were in San Clemente. We hung out for the day, and there were a bunch of family members. And we used to always meet Joey when he was stationed in Camp Pendleton. We used to meet him in the weekends. Sometimes we go to San Clemente. And me and my wife still go there just because of the memories, of Joey. We hung out at San Clemente, and then he deployed that night from Camp Pendleton.
And I want you to take note of this group, because you will see this follow through. So this was more than just this time and just this moment. And when was this, Art?
This was that's when he graduated, right? Yeah, graduation. And there's my mom. My mom and Joey were real close.
Right here.
Grandma, yeah. So my mom was really excited for Joey graduating. Got Haley, there she is, and she's a baby, and there's our.
Uh-huh.
My brother Frank, he's in Vietnam. He went 2 tours. He's in the back. He did 2 tours in Vietnam.
Right here?
Yeah, that's my brother Frank in the back.
And what an awesome smile.
Yeah, we use that.
There was a little bit of a story I read about his bushy eyebrows.
Yeah.
You can't quite see it in this picture, but he had some manscape eyebrows. But part of being in a Marine is the bond and the camaraderie.
I think that was in Korea. Was that in Korea? Yeah. With his buddies. He really got close to a bunch of them. When you become a Marine, you become brothers. They really went through. And we still, they're always texting and stuff like that. The bond's still there. It's like our family got bigger. You know, Joey's up in heaven, but we got some of his brothers in the Marines. They're like family to us.
So Tracy got more boys. And you see right there, and you see Joey in the middle, and he's doing something unique with his hands. What's he doing?
3-5.
The 3-5, and the 3-5 is
From the third battalion. Yeah, that's where he was. Where he was stationed. He was that was part of his group. He was in the Kilo Company.
and Joey had a unique knack for being able to do what?
Sleep. He loved to sleep.
So he could sleep anywhere. That must have come from having all these brothers around. And if you notice, Joey's getting a picture, but what's he got in his hand? Food again.
Yeah, you know, when Joey got deployed to Afghanistan, we sent the box like probably 2 weeks before or something, before he even left.
Oh.
So when he got there, that box was there. Yeah, so he had he was sharing with all his friends and all
It was probably the hit, and it's probably the snacks is why you got the picture.
that. Yeah, so he had his snacks as soon as he got there,
And then we're going to take just a little bit of a break here, and I'm going to have Captain Wallace come up. And Captain Wallace is going to tell us the military story of what took place. Okay, come on in, Captain Wallace, and we'll let our Marine Mac, who's in charge of our, and Mac's gonna unwire you for a minute here. Yeah, but Mac's gotta rewire you. Mac, if you say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, he is proof that he's got more tricks than I'll ever have in my life. And he has micromanaged this, getting a good speech quality. So he's recording with the microphone so that this is showing up on YouTube very nicely.
And while all this is happening, if anyone would like the URL for our last meeting, I have it. Anyone want a copy of what the URL is? This is Max.
What I want to do,
He was the one that was able to put the various parts of what happened
Mama.
into our meeting. So you could see
I couldn't get that.
Terry and Dave
Here.
installing the plaque. And it just got uploaded, just got
Well, you know, you can do
uploaded.
it because you couldn't have the answer. Yeah. Tell her that I want to record it. You know,
And it's interesting because when I first met Matt, he didn't even know how to use a computer. Now he wants to do all this
Can I
wonderful
have
stuff.
you come up here? I'm gonna have you take Tracy's
Anybody else want,
flowers back, and we're gonna have Tracy and Art come up here because Mac would like a picture of them. Take them back.
Yeah, I want to redo this, Art, where she gets this award.
So
I was
Tracy and-
unable to get that. And I really want that.
he wants it in the video. Anybody else need it?
And I will patch this back to where you talk about it.
Okay.
So
All righty.
Art,
Art, come on up.
come on up with,
It's not the mom, but that's okay, we'll let him.
no.
They have to be
Do you
in the
need us
field.
to say anything, Mac? or you
I think they need to be over in front of the table.
In front of the table here?
Yeah, in front of the table.
Right here? Where would you like her?
That is excellent. You say what you said before.
Oh, okay.
Hold on a second.
Alrighty. Caitlin, we would like to honor Joey's mom, Mrs. Pratti, Tracy Pratti, and so we'd like for you to give her some flowers so that we know, she knows that we love her too.
Okay. Now I'm happy.
Okay. And now we can all rest. Mac's happy. Okay.
If it's okay, I'm sure it is. If you're a veteran, stand up, because tomorrow's Veterans Day.
Hallelujah.
Veterans, stand up.
And while we have our veterans standing up, Caden, can I have you come up here, honey? And Caden's going to come, and for each of our veterans, we have a set of Historical Society pencils for you. So Caden,
Oh,
And Caitlin's dad is in the Navy that handed you those flowers. He's going to be here this weekend, in fact. She gets to see him this weekend, so that's pretty awesome. So give all the families of veterans a hand, too.
That's right.
we have just a second. I'd like to get this on camera.
okay. Alrighty, man, can I keep messing with you?
Okay, he's got.
Let's start right from the beginning where you have the veterans stand up.
All right,
Hold on, look.
can we have all the veterans stand and let's give them applause for their service.
And we have a bouquet of Historical Society pencils for you that have our Historical Society information. We were trying to figure out what to give a bunch of military men, and we decided roses probably wouldn't quite do it. So, Caden, we'll have you pass those out, hon.
Thank you very much.
And Mac, while you're doing it for a quick moment, could, sweetie, I'm gonna have you come up here and just say your name and your branch.
United States Marine. United States Marines, my name is Joe Gastelum.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday.
I think she wants everybody to do that. If you're a veteran,
If I
stand.
can have you just do it, and we'll just love on you, okay? All righty?
Gary Cafaro, U.S. Navy,
Thank you.
MM3, and I'm also the commander of the local VFW. So I'm interested in-
Larry Matz, United States Air Force.
Art Pratti, Air Force.
Terry Burton, Army.
David Kiefer, Army. Bill Gaddis, Air Force.
And Captain Wallace?
Army. So
We're gonna have Captain Wallace.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, we gotta take a break while our
Oh,
videographer sets up.
Yeah, while we switch and get to a little bit more of a set position. Because you know how those Marines are, they're pretty precise. And,
Hold on. I'm gonna say, okay.
alrighty. Okay. So we're going to have Captain Wallace give us the military history of what was happening while Joey was in service.
All right, before I do that, I just had a kind of a vision when Art was talking about that tank. And I wonder if somebody knows anybody like on the water district board or anything like that, we could paint that tank and put 3-5 and all that stuff on there. That'd be really awesome.
Yeah, so Sherry Duman's phone number is?
And I've known the Pratti family for a long time, and they're amazing, wonderful people. So I'm going to read a little bit from, this is an NPR report, and it's a video you can find online, but just, I think it's one of the best summaries of what was going on in Afghanistan at the time with the 3-5 Marines of the 3rd Battalion, 5th Regiment in the Sangin province of southern Afghanistan's Helmand province. Sergeant Daniel Robert described it as hell. Lance Corporal Jake Romer calls it the Wild Wild West. Lieutenant Colonel Jason Morris said he heard it described as the most dangerous place in Afghanistan. Morris was the commander of the 3-5 known as Dark Horse. And by the way, there's a Dark Horse lodge being built currently in Tennessee by another Dark Horse family for veterans to go for retreat and recovery. And part of the money from the 5K run goes to that lodge. The British were there for 4 years, but could only fight the Taliban to a bloody stalemate. Now the British were leaving, the Dark Horse Battalion moved in. The orders were clear: eliminate the Taliban as a threat. The fight initially was able to maneuver outside the patrol base without getting shot or stepping on an IED that had been planted 50 or 100 yards outside the patrol base. You could not move outside the district center without getting shot, Morris recalls. Arriving late September 2010, they learned the place fast, slogging through canals, fighting through dense vegetation, and patrolling a maze of narrow dirt roads bordered by 15-foot mud walls. A few weeks earlier in California, as Art mentioned, the Marines gathered to say goodbye to their families in the middle of the night at parade grounds at Camp Pendleton, where the unit was based. And one of those that's mentioned in the article is Sergeant Ian Tawney and his wife Ashley, and he also lost his life in Afghanistan. They stood for hours that night at Pendleton. Then just before sunrise, it was time to say goodbye. Ashley kissed her husband. He said, "I love you," and I just nodded. I didn't want to start crying. Sergeant Tawney boarded the bus that would take him to his plane for the long flight to Afghanistan. A few weeks later in Afghanistan, Tawney led his men on patrol. The situation was extremely dangerous. The Taliban had stockpiled weapons and poked holes in thick mud walls to use as shooting positions in order to ambush the Marines. Tawney had just part of the fight. For Lieutenant Colonel Morris, the Dark Horse commander, the battle was everywhere. We had over 100 firefights in the first 3 weeks. This is what we had trained for. The only thing different was we had trained all our lives for, not trained for, was the IED threat. 3-5 officially consumed control of 4 Dark Horse Marines were killed when a blast ripped apart their vehicle. In just 2 days, Morris lost 7 of his men, more than his predecessor had lost in 6 months. At home in California, Ashley Tawney remembers waking up from her nap on a couch in the middle of an October afternoon, and their house had just been remodeled with some French doors, and she got that knock on the door from the chaplain and the military officers that her husband had been killed in combat. Then finally, after several weeks of fighting and difficult days, many wounded, many killed, it fell to Morris, the battalion commander, to fix things. I was on my own for this. I mean, having to figure this out, it was up to the battalion commander. Morris pressed his company commanders to take extra care on patrol. He stepped up training. The Marines buried mock IEDs and practiced finding them, and Morris asked for reinforcements. His bosses at the Pentagon had a different idea. Defense Secretary Robert Gates suggested pulling the Marines out of Sangin for a while. The Marines' top officer, General James Amos, said absolutely not. We don't do business that way. You would have broken the spirit of that battalion. Instead of pulling Dark Horse out, the military sent hundreds of more Marines as well as mine-clearing equipment. 2 months went by. January, things started to get better. Captain Chris Ursey remembers that getting more boots on the deck really increased our patrolling, while Sergeant Daniel Roberts says it became easier for Marines to get some rest. The fighting let up. Morris says life returned, markets opened, children were on the streets. Progress came at a price, 25 dead and 184 wounded, with 34 losing at least one limb over the course of the deployment. I want to read that one more time. Progress came at a price for the 3-5 Marines, 25 dead and 184 wounded, 34 losing at least one limb. But the Marines say it was worth it. Every single Marine that was over there and saw the beginning and saw the end, saw the 180-degree change in that place. Morris said, we changed it completely. It went from total war fighting for 3 months to saving lives and rebuilding homes, says Sergeant Decker. Even Lance Corporal Barron, who lost one eye, one leg, and some of his closest friends agrees it was worth it. If I say it wasn't worth it, what about my friends that died? In April, back at Pendleton, survivors of Dark Horse gathered for a memorial service. Some stood, some sat at a helicopter landing zone, a wild patch of asphalt surrounded by low brush, mountains in the distance. They faced 25 combat crosses, each one for the dead. Helmets and weapons and combat boots sat on a wooden base. Families and the wounded. I hope you understand how much we appreciate your sons, your husbands, your brothers in life, and how much we continue to value their sacrifice and their memory. Marines, your Marines, these Marines took the fight to the enemy, and they won.
Hoorah.
Hoorah. If I could, I'd like to read, I always like to share this anytime I talk about Joey. Okay, thank you.
I'll stop Captain Wallace there, and we'll do that in a minute. As we go into tomorrow, it's not just a day off of school. It's not a good day of shopping sales. It's a day that was paid for in blood by these precious, precious men and women who had so much courage. Captain Wallace, I'm going to have you exchange places with Art.
We need to switch the mic.
Yeah.
They need this for
Okay. So we'll wait for. And while Mike's getting set up, you young cadets, at the end of today, I want you to take a chance. We've got some cupcakes back there. I want you to make sure you give one to our military guys, and that you take the time to give them a hug. It's okay to love on them. Okay, so as we go through there, one of the patches that went on with Sangin, Afghanistan, and the Dark Horses was that they no longer said get some, they said what?
Got some.
Got some. And they did, and they paid for it with their lives and with their bodies. And such an honor to honor these young men. And when there has been a death within the camp, can you tell us, Art, what they do?
That was the military cross. They gave us one of those that they need for we still have it. Basically, still falling.
And you and Tracy had a day and a notice that would change your lives forever. And so, can you tell us?
Pretty sure that was in Georgia. We went down there. That's where they fly into Afghanistan.
And this, I believe, was the service at the high school.
The high school gym, yeah, we call that.
And there were more than 1,000 people in that gym for Joey. The love and respect for him was tremendous. And you guys have talked about Camp Pendleton.
Yeah, they have a memorial up in the field up where they have the memorial for all the battles that they did for Afghanistan also. We find that we went a few times in the time, and you could drive, you gotta go a long ways to drive up there. Basically, they got all their names on the cross.
And is that
Well, yeah, it's probably, they're honoring different, it's not just Afghanistan, they have Iraq and Vietnam, they have crosses for the different battles that are not all for Afghanistan.
okay? So each cross represents a battle.
Yeah, there's some, they might have one or two, but they have different crosses for different battles.
And then, much like the picture that we saw of Joey's family all united when he left, you continue to see this family rally together.
Yeah, we climbed a hill up there, like, you can see, I think that's Julian and Jax. And they never seen their Uncle Joey, but they know about their Uncle Joey. Because we do stuff like that, we talk about him. And my son Arthur always talks about them, about their Uncle Joey, and like I said, if you ask them something about their Uncle Joey, they know